Just find what lights you up. Like there's good things and there's bad things, right? Like you can be motivated, like plan a vacation if you hit a certain goal, but don't go anywhere until you hit that goal. Yeah. Or you can do the opposite and spend a bunch of money and like force yourself to make that money. Like, yeah, so you're saying Whitney does that with like shopping or something maybe, but I don't know. But okay, there you go.
I invest and then I go, okay, about ELM, what do I have to do to pay for it?
All right, you're responsible. That's good. So like, you go shopping?
No, I make the money and then I pay for the course.
Does anybody go shopping? No? No bad shopping habits? You do? Okay. All right. You're not as bad as Jason. Jason, he has a McLaren, a Range Rover, and a Maserati, and he buys them, and every day on his store, he's like, yeah, I couldn't afford this if I didn't push myself to work this hard, so I can't afford it. Yeah, I mean, it works for him, but personally, I'm like looking at all that, I'm like, dude, I just like want one, and then maybe a daily driver. But outside of that, like, you're gonna get screwed on taxes, but like, he tries to write off everything, so we'll see. He's like, McLaren's write off, but morning routine is like making my routine the night before. And so like I wake up, my first thing is not to make the routine, my first thing is to execute the routine. So hers personally is like going to the gym because that makes her happy personally. And that's one thing where like, we're on the same page with the principle of doing what's important to you first. It's just what we think is important to us as individuals is different. So she goes to the gym, I go to the computer. And when she's done, she goes to the computer. When I'm done, I go to the gym if I got everything done. So it's just different priorities for different people. And the funny thing is, like, a couple of years ago, I could never see myself in a relationship because it was work, 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 work. Girls are a distraction. There's no way I can do this. And that was just kind of how I was raised in the Midwest. It's very much like you mow your own lawn. If somebody else mows your lawn, you're not a man. If you don't do all the little household chores on your own and you don't fix everything on your own, you're less of a person. And that's just how it is. And it's super weird. And it was like hard for me to get over these blocks. And like all I did was like play baseball and put hard work into that and then come back and like help my dad with stuff. And it was all out of love, and I'm like glad he did because that's a big part of my work ethic. But at the same time, like looking back, I'm like, wow, that was really unhealthy. And I just kicked so many things and emotions to the curb. But like now that I have Julia, I actually get more done because I have to get stuff done to hang out with her, and she keeps me motivated. And like I got to figure it out faster, and I got to do a better job because we travel a lot, we spend a lot of money, we go on different things. And when you start making more, like your expenses will go up without a doubt. Like just make sure they go up proportionately.
I kind of want to add something to that kind of brings a lot of it together is I think people have problems with productivity because of decision fatigue. So you make your list the night before, so that's not a decision you have to make in the morning. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every single day, so that wasn't a decision he had to make. Every time you look at a notification, you're deciding whether to act on that notification or to ignore it, which is another decision. The more decisions you make, the more fatigued you are and the less you're going to accomplish. So if you want to increase your productivity, get rid of all the decisions that you don't need to make. Make your lunch the night before, meal prep, do all that things that way. Come lunchtime, your lunch is already made.
Yeah, like there was a time too, and I do this a little less because Julia is very kind and like makes meals for me sometimes, but like every single meal was mailed to the house. And like every single thing that needed done was done by somebody else. And it is still that way to some extent. But yeah, there's just so many little decisions and things that people don't realize. Like it sucks your energy. Like that's what your brain has to do. You make like thousands of decisions per day. Like even subconsciously, like why did I decide to walk over here? I don't know. But like it takes energy. And I was up late last night working on something for him so he could have more calls today and have a cleaner CRM. And like, I've had a headache the whole day because I stayed up way too late and I was excited and I couldn't sleep last night. But you know, it's definitely tiring and like, I'm tired from talking so much, but it's just like fun and I enjoy it. So it's like a drug in a way. Like you go too hard after business or whatever it is you're into. And sure, you feel good because you're like doing what you're supposed to and you're not going down the wrong hole, which is like literally drugs. But you come over here and like you build a business and you're successful, but it is a drug. And you always want more of whatever it is that you do. Sometimes they're good habits and sometimes they're not. but those things can interchange depending on how deep you go into the thing that you're going into. It's hard to have more than one focus. It's very hard. Like you could probably do 3 main ones, and just keep in mind your priorities will change over time. Like I said, I don't have a family right now, and I can't see myself having one for a long time, but at some point my perspective will change on that, and all of a sudden I have a forced priority. Like I can't say no to that, right? Like you can't like tell a little kid no, especially if it's your own kid. And it can't fend for itself. Like, so yeah, there's just a lot of crazy things that go down, so you just have to figure out what's important to you. Like what's really important. Don't just say what's important, but like what actually matters. And just work for that. Work toward that. Yeah, most of you are doing things every day that you think are important, but they don't matter. And if you can find those and eliminate those, like super simple example for our clients, we used to do like, okay, we're gonna do 1 automation every week, and we're gonna start off with an initial audit and all this stuff, and then like we would do it for them and they wouldn't care. So then we just remove those things from our offerings, and not only does it become faster and easier for us, but they appreciate it more because we quit focusing on the things they don't like. So like we don't really do spam audits anymore, we just jump in and fix the problem and write a re-engagement email. So like if they have any other problems, we'll point them out, but we're not gonna go out of our way to hunt for problems that aren't there. Like we were doing that. And there's so many people that are like doing so many little menial tasks every day, and I think it's because they don't know what to do, so they just want to do something. But like if you have a moment and you truly don't have anything to do, just like go enjoy yourself. Like don't create things for you to do. That's how you stay busy and broke. A lot of people have that problem. That's like, you know, the average person in America makes like 50 grand a year. And like a lot of people could change their lives if they just realized that the majority of the stuff they do doesn't matter. And there's people that make a lot of money off of the things that don't matter, like Netflix, but in the same way, you know, it matters to the right person, because there's some people in here who like movies are their heart and soul and they aspire to be that one day, like 100% go watch Netflix. But for me personally, no. And there's like, I go to a lot of concerts. Maybe to some people that's a waste, but like I love it and I want to do that someday. So you just have to figure out what's important to you.